Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Broadway, Bleachers, and Beyond with your host, Leanna Butte on WIUR Radio. New York is where the drama never stops. The magic is always in the air. From the crack of the bat to the swish of the net to the roar of the crowd to the hush of a theater to the city writes their own stories that echoes across generations. Fast, thrilling, unforgettable history. This is New York in full performance, and the show is just getting started. So the Buffalo Bills play tonight, Monday Night Football. Exciting game. Buffalo gonna go with their old alternative uniform. It's gonna be cool to see them in that after going with the white out last week. Tough game for Josh Allen. Interception led to Bills not getting the big W and being 5-0 in the season and being one of the last teams undefeated. But Allen really did have a decent game, but it was just not on the cards for the Bills. It literally went to the wire. Patriots got a field goal and won the game. But it really did show how good the Patriots' new quarterback is going to really threaten Allen for the number one seed and for the division title, which he has. Allen has no right been the best quarterback in their division for about 5+ years now. But this young quarterback does give Allen a run for his money. He kicked back as soon as Allen scored, and the same thing happened all game. Allen just that interception late in the red zone really hurt him, and that is the reason that I believe Buffalo lost the game because up until the momentum was going towards Buffalo. But I'm excited to see the game tonight. Excited to see the Bills play. Definitely after a tough season in baseball again for the Yankees, losing at home in front of the crowd in back-to-back years. That just it tears me apart because you do it at home against your own fans. You lose the season at home against your own fans who paid top dollar to be there. I was at game 3. Amazing experience. I was there to witness Judge's home run, game tying home run. Phenomenal. Did not think it was going to go out. As soon as it hit the pole, you could feel the stadium shake. I could not stop standing from that moment on. I knew we were going to win that game. And to tell Judge had one of the best seasons postseason was, period. He batted over 600. I think he had 3 extra bases, 3 or 4 extra base hits, including the game tying home run. He has committed that entire postseason to hitting. The rest of the team did not show up for the first time, and that was the issue. Grisham was 1 for 14, I think. Rice was 2 for 14. You go down the line. Other than Rug McMahon, nobody hit that entire series. And that's the sad part. Because the 1-year Judge got it going, they couldn't help him. And then also you go onto the defense. Game 3 was a horrible defense from Toronto. It really was. But it started off with misplays in the field once again by Bellinger, by the infield, etc. It goes on and on and on of what we literally were told the reason we lost the World Series was the fundamentals of baseball. You can't hit, can't field, you can't run the bases well, you make too many errors. You can't catch. That game 3 at home, when Toronto takes the lead, that is here we go again. It's here we go again. And for any fan who has seen Game 5 of the World Series, that's just, it gives us a bitter taste in the mouth again. Because we could have won that game, we could have won that series. If we would have done the right things, we could have won the World Series last year, and now we're out. And it happens on the same thing. An error on Chisholm. A ball that he really should have got. But then after that, the Yankees just looked lifeless. They really did. Up until the 9th inning when Judge hits the RBI double. You know what's crazy to me? The Yankees' first at bat in the postseason. I think it was his first bat. Double. A hard hit ball into the gap. Double. Why is he not playing? I understand you want Grisham's in the outfield, but Grisham was not hitting. I understand the defense. If you were that worried, put Dominguez in center and put Bellinger in left. Really, it's not that difficult. Dominguez has played center for most of his career, so it's not crazy to me to say he's not going to play a great center field in the biggest moments. He can play a great left fielder, left. He really can. They tried to make him into a left fielder. He can't play it. I'm sorry, but he just can't do it. He's not able to adjust as much. He looked better as the year went on, but we've seen really them depend on Bellinger playing left towards the end of the season and it's the postseason. That is why he didn't play any of the games, because he couldn't handle left field. And I think that's the biggest issue now, that we had so many damn DHs on this team. Stan, Judge, Rice, Dominguez. The list goes on and on and on. And that's where I'm at the point of, like, it's just exhausting to see where the roster is. And the player I feel the worst for is Devin Williams, because up until game 4, he was really one of the best pitchers in the postseason. And for him to go out that way, I felt for him. I really did. Because that wasn't his fault. That was a double play from Fernando Cruz. And Devin really worked his butt off in that playoffs to show that he belongs in New York. And he should. But at this point, it's another heartbreak. After heartbreak after heartbreak. I've not lived in the generations of dynasties. I was born in 2000. The only World Series win I remember is 2009, and I barely remember it because I was that little. So my generation, Gen Z, we have seen one championship. One in the past almost 30 years at this point. Almost 20 years. A few more years is 20 years since 09. That's crazy. Women World Series once since 09. Once in the last, I think this 15 years. Last year was 15 years. I think 14 years. 14 or 15 years since we have been in the World Series. The Yankees, we are going to the time that the Yankees really weren't playing well. That's the issue. We're thinking, going back to the 70s and 80s, they just weren't playing well. And as well as there was no wildcard series, so it was always the top 2 teams and et cetera going to the pennant. But since the wildcard era, the Yankees have made the playoffs reasonably high percentage. And they have never had a losing season. I think it's going on 15 years or something. They haven't lost a season. They haven't had a losing record. I think it's 15 consecutive seasons. I may be wrong, but I think it is. But it's just crazy that we have all these winnings, seasons, but no championships. None. Nada. And the one time we do, we can't even play well. The World Series, I give Aaron Boone. Completely his fault. You do not put Cortez in game 1, while Tim Hill has been great for you all postseason long, and Nestor hasn't pitched in a month. That was not the right call. But this playoffs was not on Boone. I can't I can't blame him. The hitters didn't hit. That was the story. That really was the story this season. This postseason, they did not hit. They didn't, and they didn't field. It's a broken record, and the crazy part, they were a better team this year than last year. With the additions of Grisham, Bellinger, Goldsmith, Fried. I'll give Devin his flowers because he really deserves it to end the season the way he did and to be demoted so many times and struggle but always get back up. I give him a lot of flowers for doing that. I give him a lot of appreciation for doing that, and that is why he just. That's why I personally, on game 3, when he came out, I gave him a standing ovation. He really deserved it. I think the best part of learning this year, getting out early, that we actually have a dominant ace in Cam Littler. We really do. That is the crazy part. He didn't even, I think it was his 16th game or 16th appearance or whatever. And he pitched very well. And they couldn't get him an inning, etc. But he had under a 2 ERA in the playoffs in 2 starts against 2 dominant teams. Yes, he gave 4 runs, but only 2 earned because of the error. But he was great. And his composure on the mound, and I feel so horrible for him because he did everything right and he didn't get the reward. His defense didn't help him. His team didn't help him. But he carried them on his back and they still couldn't give him anything. And he really deserves some votes for Rookie of the Year. I know he came in July, but he really deserves some votes for Rookie of the Year. But that's what we have to look at now because season's over. Clean slate. Bellinger just opted out. He just literally just opted up a few days ago. I think Grisham is gone. I think Goldsmith's gone. Williams, I would love for him to come back on a team friendly deal. But I don't know if he's gonna come back. But the people who did the most, Tim Hill, he has a club option. I think the Yankees are going to pick it up. They would be foolish not to. I think Weaver is gone, and crazy part because he wants to be a starter now, and that has happened to the past 2 Yankees, a few Yankees. At this point, I'm not shocked if he goes to the Mets for friendly deal, 3 years, whatever, 3 years, maybe $20 million or something like that, to be a starter for the Mets. I love Weaver, I really do, but I don't see him coming back because of what he wants to do as a starter, and I don't think that's the path for the Yankees. The Yankees have so many starters now with Garrett Cole finally going to go through going through rehab, starting his throwing program. We're going to see Cole hopefully very soon. I don't think he's going to be ready by opening day. I might be wrong. But we're gonna see definitely him, and now we also have Carlos Wing, we have Ben Hess, we have so many minor league players who has had career years in the minor leagues, and also we have an opening right now with saying if Grisham doesn't stay, we have openings in that field for our young prospects to actually try making it to the big league, 26-man roster. Spencer Jones had a great season in the minors. He was, I think, minor league player of the year. Minor league offensive player of the year. And then our young pitcher, Millie Cruz Rodriguez. I think I don't remember how to say his middle name. But the young pitcher that we got for Carlos Narvaez, he was pitcher of the year in the minor leagues, and he has really raised up the ranks from Hudson Valley AA to AAA in the last week of the season. I think he was promoted to AAA, and he has been great. So our aspects of pitchers are really, really good, and I didn't even know who Cam Littler was before the season started. I don't even think I seen him when he was in spring training. I really don't think I knew who he was until he was called up. And I think that was the mentality that he literally just pitched his butt off. He really did. And he deserved every single part of being on the team. He really did. And he is the reason I definitely believe if we make it to the playoffs next year, and I definitely think we are. We really can't. I don't not have faith. But if we make it to the playoffs once again, I think we're gonna have him as our number two starter, or even number one at this point. If he makes the case, he could be a number one, number two, or number three starter in anyone's playoff roster. He showed that he could pitch in big situations and only being young, being in his not even full first season, not even full first season, and he's been able to pitch in the playoffs and carry the Yankees on his back. So I'm excited to see where he ends up, but we'll see. He is still only 16 starts in, so there's still a long way go before he could become an ace caliber pitcher. But if he keeps going like this, and also the mentorship of having Rodon, Freed, Garrett Cole at your fingertips, independent at your fingertips, that's going to be so much great for him to have that experience of having pitchers who went through what he did, and to be able to keep getting good results and being successful in the league as a starter. But at this point, the way he pitches, I wouldn't be shocked if in a few years he becomes a bullpen arm, because he was the first pitcher to ever pitch 100. I think it was 98 plus in the postseason ever from any Yankees in the first inning, whatever it was, in I think 10 years or something. So I'm excited to see him pitch and develop as a starter and definitely as a start player on the Yankees starting rotation. And I'm excited to see where the team ends up. The only issue I have, Anthony Volpe and Wells has to pack it. It has to figure out something, because Volpe has hurt you offensively more recently than defensively. And Wells, yes, he is a great backstop, but he cannot hit. And yes, he hit during the postseason sporadically, but he looked lost. He really did. And Dominguez has to get a start somewhere. Is it left field? Is it center field? I don't know. I think it depends on if they resign Bellinger, and that's their number one priority. Personally, that is my number one priority, and bullpen help, because we saw that they need a lot more strike, swing and a miss. They need a lot of swing and a miss in their bullpen, which they don't have right now. We'll be right back after a short break.
Live from New York, this is WIUR Radio.
Interesting in trying sports broadcasting, interesting working in some of Iona's biggest games. EMA President Robbie Basil, who will help give you more information. Interested in having an audio ad for WIUR or for WIUR Sports Broadcasting? DM us on Instagram with your concept, or contact one of our e-board members who will help give out more information. Make sure to follow us on WIUR on Instagram at WIUR_Gals Radio, and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now back to the show. So I'm gonna skip around to something other than sports today. Let's go to a little bit of Broadway for the next 10 minutes, if you don't mind. So there is a strike that's gonna eventually happen. Right now, it looks like it's gonna happen more likely than not, and I'm sad about it, because these performers really deserve healthcare and really deserve to be treated as human beings, not as just props. And it goes from all the way to the top to lead actors like Leah Michelle, Idina Menzel, Kristen Chenoweth, to lower people on the pyramid of crew workers, theater workers, ushers, ticket manager, ticket holder, ticket. I can't even say it today. whatever. Anyone who works in theater industry. It's just as sad as it is. It's just the reality that our society is in. That the ultra rich really do not want to pay extra to the lower class, and I'm not saying it's the lower class. It's just they just don't really want to, and it's not like these people are middle class. These are millionaires and billionaires. They own these theaters. They own the companies. They have probably 2 houses, 3 houses, Tulsa cars, electric cars, etc. Go on vacation every year, go on cruises, the list goes on and on. They have money. They invest in companies. They invest in stock, etc. It's more of it's more in the social issue that I find that they are caring about more of the ratings than the people who are performing. And I've seen that in Funny Girl. Uh, I forgot the original actress who was Franny Bryce. She was fired because of the ratings. She's a brilliant actress. She was fired because of the ratings. She did not find out from the company. She found out on social media that Lee Michelle was taking over the role. That is what I mean by they are completely different to who their performers are. Lee Michelle, in her right, is a great performer, and she is right now on a new show, Chess. Good for her. She's making great money. She probably is. She has had a lot of success in her career. But there are other actors and actresses who are getting the lower roles, and that's their starting point. So they're finally able to get their I think their working card or green slip, whatever, pink slip. So they're finally able to get health care, able to get benefits, and get maternity leave, paternity leave, etc. They're able to work that and also have sick days, vacation days, etc. Able to live more comfortably, or at least decent. Unlike people like Ida Menzel, Kristen Chenoweth, Patty LuPone, they're able to live very wealthy, and they're able to do most things that maybe someone like, which tell you the truth, Renee Rapp, before she was the big star she is, she was not make. She was a little star in Mean Girls, and she was literally out of college, working her ass off to get into Broadway, and she did. Great for her. But she didn't come from money. A lot of these people do not come from money. Some do, and good for them. But a lot of them need health care to be able to thrive. And it's just the point that I'm just upset that we come to a society that the winner, which is the ultra wealthy, control the loser, which is anyone who falls underneath that threshold of under not being a millionaire, billionaire, whatever. But it's the point that we come to a society now that there's no respect for someone who is lower class or under you. That it's the point that you don't want to give out your money because you're just being you don't want to give it for a cause that needs it or for someone who actually does need it more than you. And that's what I see with not just the Broadway community. We see it every day in life. We're seeing government right now. We're in a government shutdown. My mother might not get her social security check on time. And that's going to hurt us paying rent and mortgage, or rent and our mortgage. But for those in government, in Congress, it doesn't hurt them. Not one bit. They're making millions of dollars. But they don't care that my mom, my grandmother, may she rest in peace. They need that money to survive. They depend on literally check by check to be able to survive, to eat, uh, for food, shelter, transportation, etc. We're not in a place in society that everyone could afford housing. I don't think in my lifetime I could afford my own house without without having any loans. I really don't think that's gonna happen. It's the point of like I'm just what society is, and I could use this for the Broadway analogy. These theaters cost a lot of money to rent. So I understand where producers have to make sure their shows are successful. But at the same time, pay your workers rightfully. Give them health care. Because at the end, they're the reason your lights are on. They're the reason your shows are successful. These writers, these actors, these crew members, stage managers, anyone, ushers, anyone who works in security. They are the reason these shows are successful and the reason it keeps running. So I understand that you don't want to pay them for whatever, but really look in the mirror because you're able to get food, you're able to have a house, you're able to have some of you have your own private drivers. Good for you. A lot of these people don't have that. They depend on a check weekly or monthly to be able to keep the lights on and keep food in the fridge and take care of the children. And that doesn't just end with Americans, us as middle class or lower class, etc. Some of these Broadway stars do not make a lot of money. And it's the truth. Unless you're a lead actress or actor or producer, director, etc., choreographer, you're not going to make a lot. And I have heard that right from the source of a few actors who were in Great Gatsby in the paper mill when they were in Jersey, and they could not afford to work for the Broadway show because they were not being paid enough to be able to afford living in New York. So they quit their dream job and had to do other things because they just couldn't afford taking that job, doing the responsibilities of working 8 shows. I think it's 8 shows a week. Yeah, 8 shows a week, and they just didn't have enough money to pay rent and food. And it's where I am right now, and it's really sad that we're at a point that it's not just affecting the middle class; it's affecting the lower class. It's affecting everybody, and it's just sad we're at that point because we're supposed to be New York necessarily. It's supposed to be the happiest place on earth. Disney is the happiest place on earth. New York is supposed to be magical and give so much happiness to everyone. And right now, it just looks like Broadway will be shut down for a certain amount of time. And that takes away from what the city is really about. The lights, the music, the bright lights, the music, the love of the love of music, the love of theater, and how many people come from close and far to go see a Broadway show or off Broadway show. It's just sad that we're gonna might go into a strike and not be able to have these shows that we really do depend on sometimes because sometimes life is difficult and sometimes going to a show really does help you. It helps you get out of your mind and be able to focus on something else. And in most of these cases, you do find, I could say this from being part of a theater group when I was younger and still being involved in theater in my own terms, either watching or joining in more of public events, public companies. It's the connection of you and the audience, and I think that's special because in that hour to 2 hours to 3 hours for some shows, it is only you and the audience, and that is, I think, the most coolest and so real thing to expect because you just feel like you are with them and that nothing in that moment is not different, but it's just so rewarding when you get the connection back that the audience loves it, or as an audience member loving what they're seeing. And I think also it never is the same. Every night is different. And I think that's why I love the theater so much because anything can happen because it is live theater. But at the same time, you're able to go through a journey with these cast members and your fellow audience members through something no one the next day or the day before experience. It's completely different every time. And I think that's why I love that so much about theater and just live performances. Live performing is because it's the connection between audience and cast as well as anyone who experienced something. And most cases when I've been to shows I've had things touch me in different ways on different I've seen Wicked multiple times. Wicked has Wicked has made me cry, laugh, scream, multiple emotions. But every single time I've seen it, I've felt differently. And I think that goes on with when you go to see different shows or even just the same show most times because you have different shows change cast members all the time, as well as when you go from previews to to open past opening, shows change. So your opinions on the show or your experience changes as well. Thank you for listening to me today. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you. And I'll speak to you next week.